Hello humans, welcome back. My name is the ArtistWithAfro and welcome back to the show. Today we're going to be doing a Indivisible tier list. Now this list is going to be currently of all the characters that are playable in the prototype of the game. Again, the game prototype is still available for backers. Actually recently, this video is being recorded on June 6th, so Lab Zero just mentioned that the last date for the shipments, or rather the address changes for the shipments, was June 4th. If you have not made any changes by then the address that you currently had, if you pre-ordered the game, will be what they currently have. You also were given the chance to sort of switch out, in and out your game sort of styles if you wanted it on, or rather, I guess your game distribution gameplay consoles, if you wanted it on the Switch, if you wanted it on the Xbox One, on the whatchamacallit, on the PC, on what else? PlayStation 4, so on and so forth. They probably had last gen as well, but that's besides the point. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be categorizing our Indivisible characters. I've actually created this list on Tier Maker, so you guys can go on it and also change up and switch up some of the characters. And as a special sort of bonus, this is going to be recorded on a live stream, so I am going to take into account folks' or rather audience's choices. But I think we're going to start off from right to left. We're going to end up with Jinseg and Honey, but we're going to start off with Razmi. Now, in regards to the tier list itself, I think the main things that I'm going to be basing my sort of judgment on is artistically how the characters look, thematically how the characters are, like who they are as a person, what they bring to the table, and reliability and or sort of value in game. So this is not to say that like these are the characters that you want to play, but at least in my opinion, coming from my sort of like gameplay of the prototype in multiple streams you can check out here on the Artist with Afro channel, there are certain characters that I believe have a higher intrinsic value than some. But, you know, it's up to you. You guys can choose your own cup of tea. We're going to start off with Razmi, the supernatural shaman that allows you to heal and also stun your enemies. I'm going to put her currently... I'm going to leave her in A tier. I think Razmi is one of the better characters in the game, especially if she's one of the characters that you get first in the game. She is one of the best healers in the game. She has probably one of the best healing skills. Granted, it is one of her special moves, but she also has a stun, which can slow down your enemies, and she has multi-hitting sort of super attacks. Her level 2 is kind of like this giant Kamehameha that she throws at the enemies, and it can really just take out a lot of your smaller enemies that spawn. But she also has like this giant like fire pillar that she can call from the sky. Design-wise, I think she's awesome. Like, I feel like the whole tiger hat thing goes with kind of her shamanist type of style. She invokes the power of the tiger using a lamp that she has. And while it's weird in certain art forms, like she does look like she's hunched over, she's actually very like scrawny and skinny. She wears like this very dark overcoat, but it does match her as a character, and I really feel like that stretches out into her personality too, where she's very outwardly negative, especially to Anya. So she's one that will really just like, you know, come at her throat real quick. She has very good quips, especially in game, and I am excited to see what she can add more to in regards to that. But Razmi, we're gonna leave her at A tier. Good combo potential. Again, healer is why she's probably up at the higher echelon. There is triple S tier, and if you guys have been watching my stream, you guys might know which characters are gonna end up in that category, but I might surprise you. You never know. Moving on to Tungar. Tungar, we're gonna put him, I think, this is hard. I think I'm gonna put him in B tier for now. And that's mainly because he does have good combo potential, and he does have a very good range in regards to his attacks. My only gripe with that is that, again, in regards to reliability, I can see it being a very early on type of game feature, but if you get into later enemies, Tungar might be one of the characters that might be lacking. Unless you're able to upgrade his attack power, his combo potential is there, but if you're really not doing the amount of damage that some of the other characters can do, I don't really see him really stretching you out further. He's definitely like one of those HM slaves that you get in a Pokemon game, and then like, you know, when you finally build your real team, you kind of put him to the side. But, you know, design-wise, I think he's awesome. In fact, and I feel like everybody in the stream can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's voiced by Mike Z. I might be like just wrong on that, but I feel like he would be voiced by him. Like, this is a character that I could totally, like, when I hear his voice, for some strange reason, I think of Mike Zaymont and him doing the voice of Tungar. He does have awesome supers, though. I will give him that. Artistically, I love his design, mainly because his turban is also his sword, which is pretty badass, and then, like, it stretches out, so he can, like, do kind of like a... If anyone's familiar with the anime Bleach, it's kind of like Renji Abari. Abari, and he can kind of extend his sword, but also, like, move it around kind of like a whip. Thematically, as a character, like, you know, he comes off very bolsterous. He has that very, like, Torbjorn type of Gimli type of... I feel kind of wrong for calling him that. But he is a shorter character. You know, he kind of builds that, like, bolsterous, like, oh, we're going to combo. We're going to, like, really go into it, like, full strength and everything. So he has, like, a very sort of, like, bolsterous but kind, like, loud nature. Definitely the polar opposite of Razmi. And I do feel like, again, like, this is not to say, I think B tier is probably going to be like the average tier, like characters that are easy to jump into, but after that they don't really offer more. Like, I think that that's what sets him apart so far from Razmi. I think he does have good combo potential. He's a very easy character to use, and I think his usefulness is going to have more of an important role into the early part of the game. Late game, maybe not so much. And I think that's actually going to trail into the next character that we have, Zebe, who I am also going to put in B tier for more or less the same reason. I feel like his combo potential is awesome. His damage output is pretty good early on. But again, aside from that, it's like I can see it where some of these other characters, even the characters that I have listed down here that I haven't put in the list yet, aren't really gonna, like, in comparison to Zebe, they're gonna offer a lot more for what they have in regards to the differences. I think when it comes to combo potential, when it comes to customization, now again, I could be wrong. If you're able to customize the attacks, and if you're able to really, like, get into the differences and what makes these characters and, like, upgrade their strengths and really, like, add more combo potential to some of their abilities, then maybe Zebe and Tungar might be moved up into A, or maybe they might get triple S tier. We'll have to see. But as for now, I think Zebe, again, easy character to jump into. In regards to his personality, he seems like, you know, that companion that's there to help. He'll never, like, you know, say nothing bad about you. He's, like, you know, always your friend, always the one to try to support you. Kind of got roped into, like, the situation, but he's too nice to, like, step back and be like, you know, this ain't for me. But I think that it really, like, I think in regards to his character, in regards to his design, it's also pretty awesome too. He does have cool looking animations, and I will admit all of the characters do, but I really like the animations, again, with Zebe and Tungar, mainly because the way that he shoots his arrows is not normal. Like, he'll have, like, you know, basic shots, but then he'll do, like, horizontal cross shots, and then he'll, like, jump up in the air and hold the he'll hold the bow with, like, his legs and then pull back and, like, shoot multiple arrows. It's an awesome type of style. It's very animated in regards to, like, his moves and what he tends to do. And yeah, I think that he's pretty good. Moving on to the next character. Ooh, Khedira. This is a hard one for me because I'm feeling I kind of want to give her off on an easy slant and put her in C tier for now. And that's mainly because of other features pulling over from her gameplay features. Now, in regards to her character, her design is awesome. Like, this was, I guess it was kind of around the same time, but when you think about it, Indivisible was announced maybe like 2 years ago. And some of the character designs were changed up. So she originally had, like, a shield and a sword. They switched that off to give her mainly a shield. And before everyone jumps on, like, shield hero hype, this is I think one of the hardest things, in my opinion, character-wise to do, is to give a character a defensive weapon and have them use that as an offensive type of thing. We've seen it with Captain America. Guardian also has kind of like a little shield, Guardian from DC. And of course, anyone that's familiar, anyone that watches anime will know about the Shield Hero, Rising of the Shield Hero anime. But Khedira, like, she does have a very interesting sort of gameplay style. The problem with it, and I think that this kind of like pulls everything back, because her design is awesome, the color is awesome. Anyone that uses green is an automatic check in my book. And the shield and everything is like, conceptually, it all looks cool. Gameplay wise, in the prototype at least, it's not there. Like, for me, it's very lacking. I think that she is a character that has a lot of follow-up attacks, and I really feel like her usefulness will be more so in her supers. I remember watching one of the previous streams where they showed, that she has this kind of like intercepting like super move that can like stop an enemy from attacking like midway. And I feel like that's something that's going to be really useful in the game. Currently in the prototype, she doesn't have that ability. She really only has like this kind of like charging star Captain America, like from Marvel vs. Capcom, like 1 and 2 and 3 actually. You know, he still had the move, but she has this like charging star move that, in my opinion, in comparison to even Zebe and Tungar, is not that great. I think that it's one of those things where like her character is awesome. I think, again, her combo potential is going to be there more so in the prototype. I can understand why you don't want to show all of what your character can do, especially a secondary. I would not necessarily a secondary character, but a character that you're probably going to get later on in the game. I think that she's going to have a lot of more defensive properties, obviously because of the shield. But again, if you're not able to customize her attacks, or if you are able to customize some of her moves, maybe build up on her strengths, she can definitely be that character that can save you in a bind. But as of now, you know, design is awesome. Gameplay wise, I'm saying character wise. Gameplay wise is where it's kind of lacking for me. So unfortunately, Khedira is going to be in C tier. Oh boy, and I've already seen the next character, and and this is going to be the first one. So again, anybody that's ever watched my streams, is that a question, heads? No. Yeah. So anyone that's ever watched my streams will know my my love for this character. So Nuna, I have to do it. I got to do it for the culture. She's going up in triple S tier. Nuna is a god. Like, this character is so broken. This character is so broken, but she's also so awesome too. So thematically, Nuna has also had one of those kind of like character design changes. Gameplay wise, she is ridiculously broken, and it's not because of like she has like attack combos or she can stun your enemy or nothing. She basically allows you to negate any attack from any enemy, with the exception of certain enemies, like certain grabbing enemies. But she can kind of shut down like any enemy, including the boss. And she can heal herself. So if she goes down, she can actually heal herself back up to life. So you don't really even have to like manage her as a character. You just really need to make sure that you like plop in your little plant traps and then just like let her do her thing. Attack wise, not so much. Like, she's definitely not going to be the one that's like dealing the most damage. I think everyone else in this list so far can probably deal more damage than her combined. But design wise, she looks like Pocahontas, so she has like this kind of like little like poncho turban thing. The scarf, you know, sets it off. She in the game, she actually walks, and when she walks, she makes like this little like squeaking noise, but it's not like a duck squeak. It's kind of like a, I don't know what you would call it. It's a weird sound, but it fits her character because she's like a small, like petite character. Also, she's awesome. She raises plants out of the ground, which is, anyone that knows me, I'm a big fan of Poison Ivy, the character from Batman. And I really enjoy her thematic sort of style. She doesn't talk at all, which it also adds to like the mystery of it, because you're thinking like, okay, like what, like she obviously has to sound like a little girl, but I think thematically for her style, it's awesome that like she has like kind of like no voice. Yeah, thematically, right? Yeah, it's thematically, before we get kicked off of Twitch and YouTube. She is a princess too, which also gets her plus points. So Nuna, above and beyond, the character is going to be broken in game. I really hope that they don't nerf her. Again, if you're able to add stuff to her, then her potential, as where it stands now, her potential is just going to skyrocket. I think that she is a ridiculously broken character, and she needs to stay in the triple S tier because probably one of the more broken characters I've played in the game so far.